welcome to My Bolt UV. I am Jim, and we're going from point A to point B. Climb in, let's go. As you can tell from today's title, the electric vehicle revolution is well underway, and we're going to discuss the inconvenient truths that destroy media deceptions. 2023 was a banner year for electric vehicles in the United States. Sales of electric vehicles increased between 42 and 43%. The top deception from the media is that EV sales have cooled off over the past year. There is nothing further from the truth. From a bit over 800,000 units sold in 2022 to almost 1.4 million in 2023. That does not sound like a cooling off to me. And at the same time, gasoline car sales only increased 1%. And as I've already predicted, 2023 will be the last year that gasoline car sales have any increase whatsoever. This year, 2024, will be dead even at best, and by 2025, gasoline car sales will reverse trend to negative numbers year over year until there are zero gasoline cars manufactured and sold in the United States by 2035. Full stop. And to make myself perfectly clear, I look forward to the comments, and you can make arguments in the comments until you turn purple that I'm wrong. I'm not going to argue with you. I will not drag myself down to your level. I'm here simply to make videos that help people understand the deceptions that are being brought to you in media, print media, television media, and social media. And the deceptions are brought by big oil. Big oil has the power to make the headlines appear in the news media and on social media. Network television does not make a single penny from EV advertising. Ask yourself one question. When is the last time you saw a Tesla commercial in print or on TV? Tesla does not spend money on networks like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, or any of the print media powerhouses like the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, New York Times, or their ilk. Ask yourself this. How many times have you seen news media or social media commercials and advertisements from the oil companies? So when big oil comes along and tells their puppets in big media and social media to do hit pieces on EVs, they do hit pieces on EVs. And here are just a few of the most egregious headlines that we've seen over the past year. Hang on, here we go. Right out of the gate, and most recently at the end of 2023, we saw a headline that said the $60,000 battery replacement for the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Well, here are the facts. Fact number 1, the battery was damaged. Fact number 2, the dealer, not the engineers, decided that the battery needed to be replaced. So, fact number 3, they ballparked a quote to the owner. And here are the deceptions. The $60,000 battery was 60,000 Canadian dollars. That's about 45,000 US dollars. So they tricked you right off the top of the news story. Secondly, the engineers at Hyundai Corporate were never consulted. The dealership just spitballed the price without getting any support from Hyundai Corporate on this rare accident. And number 3, Hyundai engineers were never invited to inspect and determine whether the battery needed to be replaced. The fact is, that battery pack may have been reparable, but nobody knows. You just get the $60,000 battery replacement headline. And there is your first deception from the news media. So my advice is that when you see and hear things here on YouTube and other social media platforms, take it with a grain of salt. No, actually, you probably need a 40-pound bag of pool salt when it comes to these types of media stories. They're all hype and no facts. Another of the most recent headlines was a shocking study finds EVs cost more to fuel than gas cars. The fact is, this study compared gas cars and electric cars on road trips. But not just any car. They compared something like a Toyota Camry to a Rivian R1T, or better yet, the Hummer EV. That's not a fair comparison. The deceptions are DC fast charge prices are expensive, but the only time an EV owner should use them is when they're on a road trip. Number 2, the study did not compare the cost of charging at home with the cost of charging on the road. And number 3, different cars get better miles per kilowatt hour. The comparison was not an apples to apples comparison. Again, they compared a typical sedan like a Toyota Camry to something like a Ford F-150 Lightning or a Hummer EV. Not a fair comparison. Deception from the news media. EVs weigh substantially more than their gasoline counterparts. This is an ongoing news headline that I see at least once a month somewhere on social media. They always focus their report on the largest EVs like the Rivian or the F-150 Lightning or the Hummer EV, but they ignore the smaller cars in the smaller categories. So let's look at the facts. Fact number 1, the Bolt EV weighs 3,600 pounds compared to the Chevrolet Trax, which is the same size car, 3,150 pounds. The Bolt EUV, 3,800 pounds, when compared to the Trailblazer that weighs 4,100 pounds, shows that gasoline cars actually can weigh more than EVs. The Ford F-150 Lightning, 6,900 pounds, compared to the Ford F-250, which is a little bit bigger truck, but not by much, is 6,100 pounds. And again, the Cybertruck weighs 6,603 pounds, fully loaded. Compare that to the Ford F-250, which does not perform as well as the Cybertruck. And you'll see the deceptions just go on and on and on. One of my favorite headlines over the past year were EVs are slower than gas cars. The deception is that they always report false information. Across the classes, it doesn't matter what class of vehicle you're talking about, EVs will always be faster than gasoline cars in the same class. For example, the Bolt EV again, 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds compared to the Trax, which takes 8.6 seconds. The Bolt EUV, 6.9 seconds 0 to 60 time compared to the Trailblazer, which is 9.1 seconds. The Ford F-150 Lightning, 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds compared to the Ford F-250, which takes 9.3 seconds. And again, the Cybertruck can make it from 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. So saying that EVs are slower than gas cars is about as stupid as calling the sky green. Here's another great headline. EVs are more dangerous in a crash. Well, the deception is these people are putting out reports and they don't bother to look up the correct information from places like NHTSA or the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. The fact is that the Bolt, when compared to the Trax, they both have 5-star ratings, but the Trax hasn't been tested in almost 10 years, and when it was tested as the Buick Encore. The Bolt EV, when compared to the Trailblazer, both again are 5-star rated. Again, the deception is the people putting out these reports don't bother to try to find the facts. Now for the most recent story that has made headline news across all of the news agencies. Hertz Rental Cars is abandoning the trend for EVs for gasoline cars. Here are the facts. Hertz only purchased about 60,000 electric vehicles nationwide. Hertz is only selling off a little less than 20,000, about 30% of their EV fleet. And fact number 3, they are selling off the older units. They are rotating out just like they do for gasoline cars. It's standard operating procedure in the rental car world. Here are some of the deceptions. The bottom line is Hertz does not make as much money renting an electric car because those who choose the electric understand that they need to return the car in a charged state for the next customer. And since Hertz cannot make money on charging cars like they do gasoline sales, they're not interested in doing it. And those who rent an EV do not normally pay the extra cost for the additional insurance. And Hertz is losing money there too. Hertz will make more profit from gasoline cars because that clientele is less savvy in the art of the deal when it comes to renting vehicles. And Hertz will not be honest about any of these facts, neither will the news media. And if you take the time to go online and look at some of the EVs that are for sale on Hertz, most of them, if not all of them, have 40, 50, 60,000 miles on them already. So obviously the EV is a popular car to rent. Hertz, again, will not admit this fact, and they are deceiving the public at large. I could go on for hours talking about the deceptions in the media regarding EVs. We could discuss EV fires again. We can talk about the replacement cost for batteries again. I'm going to revisit the total cost of ownership when I hit the 1-year mark with my car. And as I mentioned before last year, I'm about to pass 30,000 miles and the 1-year mark in ownership. I'm already laying the groundwork for that episode, and we will discuss the total cost of ownership as compared to a car that burns gasoline. Later this month, I'm going to do an in-depth video on charging, at home and at DC fast charge stations. We will have an update on the Tesla network charging, too. Sometime in February or March, I will have the Tesla adapter, and we will go on a Tesla charging adventure. Finally, I'm going to revisit the Rear Bumper Revival series. That will be a very short video. As always, thanks for stopping by. Remember to subscribe, share, comment, and like, and ring that notification bell when you want to know when I've uploaded something new. Also, remember to treat everyone with kindness, put a smile on your face, help someone today, and pay it forward when someone does the same. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you real soon, or somewhere along that route from point A to point B. Take it easy, everybody.